Welcome back, survivors. Before the story starts, tap subscribe and comment where you're tuning in from. I'm dropping another story tomorrow, and you'll want to catch it first. The last thing Captain Morrison said before he died was, "Don't let us land." Then I heard chewing sounds through his mic. I'm Lena Martinez. The night the zombie outbreak hit 30,000 feet, I was alone in a control tower with 17 infected planes and no protocol for what comes next. Every flight was a flying coffin. Every landing request was a potential extinction event. The military wanted me to guide them to remote areas, let them crash in mountains, oceans, anywhere with no witnesses. I was going to do it. I swear I was. Until I heard my son's voice on Flight 403, 40 miles out and descending fast. "What would you have done?" But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back 3 hours. Back to when I still thought this was just another storm night. The tower was silent, except for the hum of computers and the distant rumble of thunder. My coffee had gone cold in its mug, the one Jake made me in art class with "World's Okayest Mom" painted on the side. His humor. Always his humor. Even when I missed his basketball games for overtime shifts. I rotated my neck, feeling vertebrae pop. 2:17 a.m., the graveyard shift. 6 more hours until I could go home, crawl into bed, and pretend I was there when he woke up for school. "Tower 7, this is United 847, requesting priority landing clearance." Captain Morrison's voice crackled through my headset. Professional, clipped, but something underneath it made my hand pause over the keyboard. "United 847, state your emergency." I pulled up his flight data. Portland to Seattle. 187 passengers, 13 minutes out. "Tower, we have multiple passengers in medical distress. Seizures, violent behavior. Static burst through the line. When Morrison came back, his voice had changed. Higher, stressed. "Tower, they're attacking other passengers. We need paramedics, lots of them, and security, armed security." My stomach dropped. "Copy that, 847. You're cleared for immediate approach, runway 16 right. Emergency crews are being mobilized." My other hand was already reaching for the red phone, the direct line to emergency services. But before I could lift it, another transmission cut through. "Tower 7, American 512. We have a situation. Oh, Jesus. Get away from the door." A crash. Screaming. The wet sound of something tearing. "American 512, respond." My voice sounded too loud in the empty tower. 512, do you copy?" The radar showed the plane's transponder still transmitting, still on course. But the radio carried only the sound of chaos. Shouts, thuds. Something that might have been laughing, but sounded wrong, like it came from a throat that forgot how to make human sounds. Then Captain Morrison's voice returned. But now it was a whisper. "Tower 7. Whatever's happening. It's spreading. Cabin to cabin. Row by row. I've sealed the cockpit, but I can see them through the camera. They're not people anymore. Their eyes are..." The sound of fists hammering metal. "Morrison, how many crew members are unaffected?" My training kicked in, pushing panic down into that locked box where I kept everything I couldn't afford to feel during a shift. "Just me and my co-pilot. Flight attendants went back to help the passengers. That was 12 minutes ago. I haven't heard from them since." A pause. Heavy breathing. "Tower, I need you to understand something. These people aren't sick. They're dead. I watched a man with his throat torn out get back up and attack the person trying to help him. I watched..." The cockpit door alarm shrieked through the transmission. "They're breaking through the door! Tower, if we go dark, do not let this plane land! Do you understand me? Do not!" Screaming. A gurgling sound. Then Morrison's voice, thick and wet. "Don't let us land." Chewing sounds. The transmission cut to static. My hands were shaking. I stared at the radar screen. American 512's dot still glowing, still moving at 480 knots towards Seattle-Tacoma International. Still carrying whatever hell had just consumed Captain Morrison. The red phone rang. I grabbed it. "Tower 7, this is Colonel Brennan, NORAD. We're tracking unusual radio traffic in your sector. Confirm status of American 512. My mouth was dry. "Sir, American 512 has lost cockpit communication. Last transmission indicated violent passenger incident. Possible hijacking. The words felt too small for what I'd heard. Negative on hijacking, Tower 7. We're receiving similar reports from 43 commercial flights across the western seaboard. Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Phoenix. All major airports reporting violent outbreaks in terminals. This is a coordinated attack. We're implementing Protocol 7. Protocol 7. I'd heard of it in training. The contingency for airborne biological threats. Quarantine, isolation, no landings at major airports. Sir, where am I supposed to send these planes? Nowhere. His voice was flat, cold. Keep them in holding patterns. We're scrambling fighters to escort them to remote locations. If they attempt unauthorized landings, they will be intercepted. Intercepted. Military speak for shot down. Colonel, I have civilian aircraft with finite fuel. United 847 has maybe 40 minutes before... Then you have 40 minutes to convince them to divert to alternate coordinates. We're transmitting authorized landing sites now. Military installations, abandoned airfields. Anywhere with containment capability. My screen blinked. New data scrolled across. Coordinates for bases I'd never heard of. Strips of runway in the middle of nowhere. Tower 7. One more thing. The colonel's voice softened slightly. Whatever you hear on those transmissions, remember they're already gone. You can't save them. You can only prevent spread. Understood? Understood, sir. The line went dead. I sat in the silence, watching 17 dots on my radar screen. 17 flights. Thousands of people. And I was supposed to shepherd them to their graves. My phone buzzed. A text from Jake. Mom, you watching the news? Something crazy happening at airports. Stay safe. Love you. I typed back with trembling fingers. Love you too, baby. Everything's fine. Get some sleep. The lie tasted like copper. On my screen, American 512's altitude began to drop. Not the controlled descent of an aircraft under power. This was a dive. 28,000 feet, 24,000 feet, 18,000 feet. I watched Captain Morrison's plane fall out of the sky somewhere over the Cascade Mountains. The radar dot disappeared, and I knew this was just the beginning. The silence after American 512 vanished lasted exactly 4 seconds. Then my radio exploded. Tower 7, Delta 734, we need immediate... They're breaking through the galley door. Tower, this is Southwest 891. My co-pilot just attacked me. I had to... Oh God, there's blood everywhere. Tower 7, requesting emergency descent. We have... No, stay back. Voices overlapping. Panic bleeding through professional training. Pilots who'd flown through hurricanes and engine failures now reduced to terrified prey, trapped in metal tubes with something that used to be human. I keyed the main frequency, forcing my voice steady. All aircraft in Seattle airspace. This is Tower 7 declaring emergency conditions. Report your status immediately. Tower, Delta 229, Captain Chen here. Cockpit is sealed. I've depressurized the cabin to slow them down. But I can see through the door camera, they're not affected by the thin air. They're still moving, still trying to get in. Tower 7, United 651. We barricaded the cockpit with the drink cart. Jesus Christ, they ripped the door off its hinges. Tower, we're going to... Static. Another dot on my screen wavered, then began its death spiral. My fingers flew across the keyboard, pulling up flight manifests, fuel data, anything that could help. But the numbers just stared back at me. Cold, indifferent mathematics of how long each plane could stay airborne before gravity claimed them. The door to the tower burst open. I spun, hand instinctively reaching for the panic button. Jesus, Lena, what the hell is happening? Marcus, the supervisor who should have been home 3 hours ago, stood in the doorway. His face was pale, phone clutched in his hand. My wife just sent me a video from SeaTac. People are attacking TSA agents, biting them. And then the bitten ones. They get back up. I know. My voice sounded dead even to my own ears. It's in the air, Marcus. Literally in the air. 17 flights in our sector are infected. He stared at the radar screen, watching the dots circle like vultures. What are we supposed to do? NORAD says keep them up. Divert to remote locations. Wait for military containment. That's a death sentence. Those people have families, kids. And if we land them, how many more families die? I grabbed his shoulder, forcing him to look at me. Portland's airport is overrun. San Francisco, LAX. Every place these flights originated from is gone, Marcus. If we bring them down here, Seattle becomes the next plague zone. His phone buzzed. He looked at it, and his face went white. They're reporting cases in downtown Portland now. Not just the airport. It's spreading through the city. A new voice crackled through my headset. Tower 7, this is Alaska 403. We're 45 minutes out. Just wanted to let you know we're hearing weird noises from the passenger cabin. Should we investigate? Alaska 403. The designation didn't register immediately. Negative 403. Seal your cockpit door and do not, under any circumstances, open it. Confirm. Copy that, Tower. Can you tell us what's... The radar screen updated with 403's flight information. Departed. San Francisco International. Passengers, 142. I clicked through to the passenger manifest, and my heart stopped. Row 23, Seat C. Jacob Martinez, age 14. My son, my baby, was on that plane. The room tilted. My vision tunneled to that single name on the screen. Jacob Martinez, Row 23, Seat C. The school trip, San Francisco. I'd signed the permission slip 3 weeks ago while burning toast and running late for my shift. He'd been so excited. The Science Museum, the Golden Gate Bridge, 3 days away from his boring mom who worked nights and missed everything. I'd forgotten. God help me. I'd forgotten he was flying back tonight. Lena? Marcus was saying something, but his voice sounded underwater. Lena, you okay? My phone was in my hand before I realized I'd grabbed it. Shaking fingers fumbled across the screen, hitting Jake's contact. It rang once, twice, 3 times. Come on, baby. Pick up. Pick up. Voicemail. His voice, young, trying to sound older. Hey, it's Jake. Leave a message or whatever. I tried again and again. Straight to voicemail. Tower 7, this is Alaska 403. We've got a situation developing back here. Passengers are... Wait, is that blood? Tower, we're going to check. Negative 403, I screamed into the radio. Do not open that cockpit door. Seal it now and confirm. A pause. Tower, we have crew back there. We can't just... The crew is already dead. Seal the goddamn door. Marcus grabbed my arm. Lena. What? My son is on that plane. The words came out broken. Jake. He's on 403. His grip loosened. His face went from concern to horror. Oh, Jesus. Lena, I'm so sorry, but you need to step away from the console. Let me take over. You're too close to this. No. I yanked my arm free. He needs me. They all need me. My phone rang. Jake's number. I grabbed it so fast I nearly dropped it. Jake, baby, are you okay? Tell me you're okay. Mom? His voice was small, terrified. Nothing like the cocky teenager who'd rolled his eyes at me last week. Mom, something's wrong. Mr. Peterson, he was sitting 2 rows up. He started shaking, and then he attacked Mrs. Chen, and now everyone's screaming and a crash in the background. Screaming. Jake, listen to me. Where are you right now? Bathroom. I locked myself in the bathroom. Mom, what's happening? Why are people... Don't open that door. Do you understand me? No matter what you hear, don't open it. There's someone trying to get in. They're scratching at the door. Mom, I'm scared. Tears burned my eyes. I know, baby. I know, but you're going to be okay. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. Tower 7. Captain Chen's voice cut through. I've got eyes on multiple flights in this sector. Some are descending without authorization. They're trying to land. I looked at the radar. She was right. 3 dots were dropping altitude, heading straight for SeaTac. All aircraft, this is Tower 7. You are not cleared to land. Repeat. You are not cleared. Tower, this is United 651. We're coming down whether you like it or not. I've got dying passengers, and I'm not keeping them up here to stuck a new voice. Cold and military. United 651, this is Raptor 1. You are ordered to return to assigned altitude. If you continue descent, you will be fired upon. Fighter jets. They'd actually scrambled fighters. On my phone, Jake whispered, "Mom." The scratching stopped. Something worse than scratching filled the silence. Chewing sounds. "Jake, talk to me. What do you hear?" My voice cracked despite every effort to keep it steady. "It's quiet now." "Too quiet, Mom. There's blood seeping under the door." Through my headset, Captain Chen's voice. "Tower 7, United 651 is still descending. Raptor 1 has weapons lock." I was being torn in half. My son trapped in a bathroom at 30,000 feet. A pilot about to be shot down for trying to save his passengers. And me, powerless in both scenarios. "Jake, you need to stay absolutely silent. Don't make any sound." I muted my phone and keyed the radio. "Raptor 1, hold your fire. United 651, you must abort descent. You have infected passengers. If you land, you compromise the entire..." The radio cut to screaming. Not from United 651. From somewhere else. "Tower, Southwest 891. They got through the cockpit door. Oh God, my co-pilot is..." Wet sounds. Gurgling. Then nothing but static and something that might have been breathing. Another dot began its descent. Southwest 891, spiraling down toward Puget Sound. "All aircraft, this is Colonel Brennan on emergency frequency. Any plane that deviates from holding pattern will be engaged. No exceptions, no warnings. Tower 7, you are to maintain order in your sector by any means necessary." By any means necessary? What did that even mean when the dead were eating people at altitude and my 14-year-old son was locked in an airplane bathroom? Marcus touched my shoulder. "Lena, let me talk to Jake. You focus on the planes." "No, he's my son. I'm not..." "You're the only controller on duty who knows this sector. If you fall apart, everyone dies. Let me help." Before I could respond, my phone's screen lit up. A text from Jake. "Something's breaking the door latch." "Mom, I love you." My heart shattered. I unmuted the phone. "Jake, I need you to listen very carefully. Is there anything in that bathroom you can use as a weapon? Anything sharp? There's a metal soap dispenser. I could maybe pull it off the wall." "Do it. Right now." The sound of scraping metal. Grunting. Jake's voice strained. "It's not coming off. Mom, the door is shaking. Bessie, they're ramming it." On the radar, United 651 was at 12,000 feet. Still descending. "Raptor 1, engaging target." "No," I screamed. 651, pull up! Pull up now!" For a moment, the dot leveled, then resumed its descent. A flash on the radar. The dot disappeared. 196 people. Gone. Vaporized over the Pacific Ocean because they wanted to live. I made myself breathe, made myself focus. "Jake, honey, how's that dispenser coming?" A crash through the phone. The sound of splintering wood. "Mom, they're coming in." "Jake, fight. Hit them with anything you can." A thud, a scream, my son's scream. Then the worst sound in the world. The phone hitting the floor, still connected, broadcasting everything. Snarling, tearing sounds, Jake's voice sobbing, Mom, please." "Jake!" I was screaming, hands gripping the phone so hard it cracked. "Baby, fight back! Jake!" Marcus was pulling me away from the console, saying something about protocol, about professional distance. But all I could hear was my son dying. And then, silence. The phone line stayed open, but Jake wasn't making any sound. "Jake?" My voice was a broken whisper. "Baby, please answer me." Heavy breathing, but not Jake's breathing. Something picked up the phone and spoke with my son's voice. "Mom? I'm hungry." The voice was Jake's. The words were Jake's. But the thing underneath, cold, hollow, hungry, that wasn't my son. "Jake, baby, it's Mom. You know me. You know who I am." My voice trembled, breaking on every syllable. Mom. Flat, emotionless. Like he was reading from a script he didn't understand. "Come get me. I want to come home." Marcus pulled the phone from my hand. I tried to grab it back, but he held it away, his eyes wet with tears. "Lena, he's gone. You heard it. He's gone. He's not gone. He's infected. There might be a cure, We don't know. Tower 7. This is Alaska 403. A new voice. The pilot. Female. Young. Terrified. We've lost the cabin. They're at the cockpit door. I can hear them. I can hear a kid saying, "Mom," over and over. Is that what happens to them? They just repeat things? My knees buckled. Marcus caught me, lowered me into the chair. Through the phone's speaker, still connected, still broadcasting, I heard movement, shuffling. Then Jake's voice again, but distant now, talking to someone else. "Mom's coming," she promised. Mom always comes. I covered my mouth to keep the scream inside. Phantom. "Lena!" Marcus crouched in front of me, forcing me to look at him. "You have 16 other planes up there. Thousands of people. Some might still be uninfected. Some might have sealed themselves in bathrooms, cockpits, cargo holds. You're the only one who can guide them." Guide them where? To fighter jets? To empty runways in the middle of nowhere where they'll be quarantined or executed? To a chance. He grabbed my shoulders. Any chance is better than what happened to Jake. And if you shut down now, they don't even get that. The radio crackled. "Tower 7. This is Delta 2229, Captain Chen. I need fuel calculations for extended holding pattern, and I need honesty. Is there any scenario where we land and don't get shut down?" I wiped my eyes, tasted salt and snot, forced myself to look at the radar screen. 16 dots. 16 planes. Delta 229 had 148 souls aboard. "Captain Chen, what's your cabin status?" "Sealed cockpit, but I can hear them through the door. At first it was screaming, then pounding. Now it's just talking, repeating phrases. "Let me out. I want to go home. Please help me." Over and over. A pause. "Tower, are they still people?" The question hung in the air like smoke. I thought of Jake's voice, the words that sounded right but felt wrong. A recording played through a meat puppet. "I don't know, Captain." "Then I need you to make a choice for me, because I've got 2 hours of fuel. Maybe 3 if I push it. And when that runs out, I'm coming down whether there's a runway or a fighter jet waiting. So tell me, where do I die? In the air or on the ground?" Before I could answer, a new transmission cut through. "All aircraft, this is NORAD Command. We have a potential solution. There's a facility in Montana, remote, hardened. They have medical personnel standing by. It's a long shot, but they think they can treat infected passengers if we can get them there alive." Hope, dangerous, terrible hope bloomed in my chest. What facility? What are the coordinates? Transmitting now. But Tower 7, they can only take 2 flights. Maximum capacity 300 passengers. You need to choose which planes go. I stared at the radar. 16 planes, 2 slots. And somewhere up there, my son was still breathing. The coordinates appeared on my screen. Montana, middle of nowhere, a facility that didn't exist on any map I'd ever seen. "NORAD Command, confirm facility capabilities. What kind of treatment are we talking about?" Static. Then Colonel Brennan's voice, quieter now. "Experimental. Neurological intervention within the first hour of infection. Success rate unknown. But it's the only option we have, besides containment by force." 1 hour. Jake had been infected for maybe 10 minutes. There was still time. "Tower 7 to all aircraft. I'm transmitting coordinates for an emergency medical facility. 2 flights will be selected for diversion. The rest..." I couldn't finish the sentence. "The rest will maintain holding patterns until fuel is exhausted," Colonel Brennan finished for me. "Tower 7, selection criteria is at your discretion. Choose wisely." My discretion? They were making me play God. "Tower, this is Delta 734. We've got 62 children on board. School group from San Diego. If you're choosing, choose us." The pilot's voice cracked. "Please." "Tower 7, United 918 here. We sealed the cabin early. Only 12 infected out of 200 passengers. Best survival odds. We should be priority." "This is Regional 445. We're a small plane, only 38 people total. Easier to contain, easier to treat. Makes logical sense." They were bidding, auctioning their lives with statistics and moral calculations. And I had to decide who lived and who fell from the sky. Marcus leaned over my shoulder. Lena, you can't choose 403. You know you can't. Why not? I spun to face him. Because my son's on it? Because I'm not objective? Because there's no crew left alive on that plane to fly it to Montana. You heard the pilot? They lost the cockpit. That plane is flying on autopilot with no one steering. It's already dead. He was right. God help me, he was right. I pulled up the flight data on my screen. Delta 229. Captain Chen alive, cockpit sealed. 148 passengers, fuel for 2.5 hours. United 918, cockpit secure, minimal infection. 200 passengers, fuel for 3 hours. Regional 445, small aircraft, 38 passengers, low fuel. 90 minutes, max Delta 734, 62 children aboard, cockpit compromised, but pilot still responsive. Alaska 403, my son's plane, cockpit breached, no crew, flying on autopilot into oblivion. Tower 7. Captain Chen's voice cut through my paralysis. I'm not asking for my plane to be chosen. I'm asking you to be honest with us. How many can really make it to Montana? Because I'm looking at my fuel gauge and those coordinates, and the math doesn't work for most of us. I ran the calculations. She was right. Even the 2 chosen planes would be flying on fumes. One storm, one headwind, one miscalculation, and they'd drop into the Rockies. Captain Chen, you're correct. It's marginal for everyone. Then I'm volunteering my plane to stay behind. Use those slots for planes with children. Delta 734 and Regional 445. Captain, you have 148 people who are already as good as dead. I can see them through the camera tower. They're not people anymore. They're not even animals. They're just hunger. Give the slots to planes that still have a chance. My throat closed. Captain Chen, I can't ask you to. You're not asking, I'm telling. Send the kids to Montana. Tell my husband I love him. A pause. And Tower? Whatever choice you make about your son's plane, I understand. No one would blame you. Tears blurred my vision. I looked at Alaska 403's dot on the radar. No crew, no one to land it. But my son was still breathing up there, still speaking, still existing in some form. If I sent it to Montana, it would crash. No pilot, no chance. But if I didn't send it, if I chose other planes, I was condemning Jake to death with my own hands. Tower 7, we need your decision. Colonel Brennan's voice, cold, impatient. Now! I stared at the screen. 16 dots, 2 choices. My finger hovered over the keyboard. Marcus whispered, Lena, if you choose 403, you're killing 62 children on Delta 734. You're killing 38 people on Regional 445. You know Jake's already gone. Don't let him take more people with him. I closed my eyes, made my choice, and became a murderer. Delta 734 and Regional 405, you are cleared for immediate diversion to transmitted coordinates. All other aircraft. My voice broke. Maintain holding patterns. On the radar, Alaska 403 continued its circle, carrying my dead son through the dark sky. The radio exploded with voices. Tower 7, this is United 918. We have minimal infection. You're sentencing 200 people to death. Tower, Delta 229. Captain Chen here. Confirm my orders. You want me to maintain position? This is bullshit. My passengers deserve to live. Tower, I'm breaking pattern and heading to Montana, with or without clearance. United 918's dot tilted on the radar, changing course. United 918, return to holding pattern immediately. I kept my voice level even as everything inside me screamed. You are not cleared for diversion? Then shoot me down. I'm not watching my passengers die because some controller played favorites. Raptor 1, this is NORAD command. Engage any aircraft deviating from assigned patterns. No, not again. I couldn't watch another plane get vaporized. United 918, listen to me. Montana facility can only process 300 people maximum. You have 200 aboard. If you land there, you're taking slots from planes already en route. Those children on Delta 734 will have nowhere to go. Is that what you want? Silence. The dot wavered, then slowly curved back into holding pattern. Tower 7. I have families here. Kids, pregnant women. How do I tell them they're going to die? You don't. My voice was hollow. You keep them calm. You keep them comfortable. And when the fuel runs out, I couldn't finish. Marcus was watching the radar, his face gray. Lena, we've got another problem. Alaska 403 is descending. My head snapped to the screen. He was right. Jake's plane was dropping altitude. Not a dive, slow, controlled descent. 403 is on autopilot. It shouldn't be descending unless someone changed the autopilot settings. Alaska 403, this is Tower 7. Confirm cockpit status. Static. Then a voice, male, young, with that same hollow quality I'd heard in Jake. Tower 7, we're coming home. Mom's down there. She's waiting. Ice flooded my veins. Who is this? Identify yourself. Pilot. I'm the pilot. I know how to fly. The other pilot taught me before he died. Before I ate him. One of the infected had figured out the controls. 403, you are ordered to return to assigned altitude. You are not cleared to land. Don't care. Hungry. So hungry. And there's food down there. Lots of food. I can smell it. Marcus grabbed the red phone. NORAD, we have a situation. Alaska 403 is under control of infected passengers. They're attempting to land at SeaTac. Raptor 1, you are weapons free. Engage, Alaska 403. No. I lunged for the radio. Colonel, there might be survivors on that plane. We don't know. Tower 7, that plane cannot land. You know what happens if it does. I knew. God, I knew. One plane full of infected touching down at a major airport. Thousands of people in the terminals. The city. The entire Pacific Northwest could fall in hours. But Jake was on that plane. My son was on that plane. Raptor 1, missile away. On the radar, I watched two dots converge. The fighter jet's missile and my son's plane. Abort! Abort the shot! I was screaming into the radio. But it was too late. The dots merged. Alaska 403 disappeared from my screen. And somewhere over the Olympic Peninsula, my son died for the second time. I don't remember falling. Don't remember Marcus catching me or lowering me into the chair. The world had become white noise and the blank space where Jake's radar signature used to be. My son was gone. Really gone. No resurrection this time. Just burning metals scattered across mountains and trees, falling like bloody rain. Lena. Marcus's voice came from somewhere far away. Lena, I need you to focus. We still have 14 planes up there. 14 dots. 14 flying coffins burning fuel on borrowed time. Tower 7. This is Captain Chen. I'm sorry about your son. But I need to tell you something. The infected on my plane, they're changing. Evolving. I forced myself to focus, to push the grief into that locked box where it could wait until my shift ended. If my shift ever ended. Evolving how? They're coordinating. At first it was just random attacking. Now they're working together. I watched through the camera, 3 of them lifting a 4th one up to reach the emergency equipment panel. They're trying to depressurize the cabin from the inside. They're problem-solving, Tower. Cold sweat prickled my neck. How is that possible? The infection destroys higher brain function. Does it? Or does it replace it with something else? Chen's voice was clinical now, detached. The tone of someone cataloging their own death. They're not mindless anymore. They're adapting, learning. A new voice cut in. Regional 445, the small plane I'd cleared from Montana. Tower 7, we have a situation. One of our passengers, a doctor. She's claiming she was exposed but fought off the infection. Says she felt it trying to take over, but her immune system won something. Tower, is that possible? Put her on. Static. Then a woman's voice, shaking but coherent. This is Dr. Sarah Vance. I was bitten 20 minutes ago. Felt the infection spreading, fever, aggression, this, hunger. But it peaked and then started fading. I'm still me. Still human. I think some people might be naturally immune. Hope. Again. That dangerous flame I couldn't afford. Dr. Vance, how many people on your plane were exposed and haven't turned? At least 6 that I can confirm. We locked ourselves in the rear galley, but Tower, the infected passengers aren't trying to break in anymore. They're just standing outside the door, waiting. Like they know we have to come out eventually. Learning, adapting, waiting. Marcus pulled up a news feed on his phone. His face went white. Lena, you need to see this. The screen showed SeaTac Airport, fires burning, bodies scattered across the tarmac, and people, if you could call them that, attacking emergency vehicles, security personnel, anyone who moved. That's from 20 minutes ago, Marcus whispered. It's already on the ground. It's already here. I stared at the footage. But how? We didn't land any infected planes. We kept them all in the air. Then I saw it. In the corner of the frame. A baggage handler stumbling, convulsing, attacking a co-worker. The luggage, I breathed. The bags from infected passengers. We unloaded them before we knew, before the outbreak started. The infection hadn't come down in planes. It had been on the ground the whole time. We'd sacrificed Jake for nothing. The tower windows exploded inward. I hit the floor as glass rained down, arms covering my head. Wind howled through the broken frames, carrying the smell of smoke and something else. Something sweet and rotten that made my stomach heave. They're in the building. Marcus was dragging me toward the emergency exit. Lena, we have to go now. Below us, in the terminal, screams echoed up through the stairwell, gunfire, the wet sounds of feeding. I crawled back to the console. I'm not leaving, not while there are planes in the air. They're dead anyway. I can give them a choice. I pulled myself into the chair, glass crunching under my knees. Blood ran down my arm from a dozen cuts I couldn't feel. I can tell them the truth. My hands found the radio. Steady now, calm, everything I hadn't been when Jake died. All aircraft, this is Tower 7, final transmission. I paused, gathering the words. The infection is on the ground. SeaTac is lost. Portland, San Francisco, Los Angeles. All major airports are reporting outbreaks. If you land anywhere with population density, you risk spreading it further. Montana facility may be your only real chance, but fuel calculations show most of you won't make it. Silence on the radio. 13 planes listening to their death sentence. So I'm giving you a choice. Die in the air on your terms, or try for Montana and risk becoming what killed you. There's no good option. There's no rescue coming. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Captain Chen's voice came through, surprisingly gentle. Tower 7, it's not your fault. You did everything you could. I killed my own son. The words came out flat, empty. I chose other planes over him, and it didn't matter. The infection was already here. You gave those children a chance. Delta 734 is 20 minutes from Montana. Those 62 kids might live because of your choice. That has to count for something. The stairwell door burst open. Marcus fired 3 shots. Something, screamed. Tower, we don't have much time, he shouted. I ignored him. All aircraft. I'm uploading everything I know about the infection to the emergency frequency. Symptoms, progression rates, Dr. Vance's immunity data. Maybe someone out there can use it. Maybe the door splintered. Hands, too many hands, reached through. Marcus fired again. Lena, Delta 2229, Captain Chen. I'm staying airborne as long as possible. Going to fly over populated areas and document the spread. Maybe the data helps someone. A pause. Tower 7. Tell my husband I love him. Tell him I died doing something that mattered. United 918 here. We're heading to Montana. Long shot. But it's better than nothing. If we make it, we'll tell them about you, Tower 7. We'll tell them you saved the ones you could. One by one, the pilots made their choices. Some turned toward Montana. Others chose remote areas to crash where the infection couldn't spread. Captain Chen kept her plane in the air, circling, recording, documenting the end of the world from 30,000 feet. The infected poured through the door. Marcus was out of ammunition, swinging a chair like a club. I hit the final upload button. Every piece of data, every transmission, everything that might help someone, somewhere, survive this. This is Tower 7. Lena Martinez, signing off. To anyone listening, the infection spreads through bites and possibly through contaminated materials. Some people show natural immunity. The infected learn and adapt. They're not mindless. They're not animals. They're something new. I looked at the radar one last time. 13 dots against the darkness, flying toward hope or oblivion. If you're hearing this transmission, that means you survived. Stay away from airports. Stay away from cities. Find the immune. Find the survivors. And whatever you do, hands grabbed my shoulders, pulled me from the chair. I saw Marcus go down, screaming, "Don't give up. There's always..." Final transmission ends. The recording was found 3 days later by a military cleanup crew. Tower 7 was empty except for blood and the console. Still running, still broadcasting. Captain Chen's plane circled for 6 hours before running out of fuel over the Pacific. Delta 734 made it to Montana. 41 of the 62 children survived. Dr. Vance's immunity research became the foundation for the cure developed 8 months later. And Lena Martinez's final transmission was heard by survivors across the Pacific Northwest, giving them the information they needed to live. She saved thousands of lives. She just couldn't save her own son. What would you have done in Lena's position? Would you have chosen your child over strangers? Could you have made that call? The infection spread from the airports, from the luggage, from the places we thought were safe. If this happened tomorrow, if the outbreak started tonight, would you know the signs? Would you survive? This is Tower 7 signing off, but the next transmission is coming. Another story, another survivor, another impossible choice. Will you be ready?